Welcome to This Week on Xbox. I'm your host, Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson. This week's episode is going to be a little bit longer, and that is because we're diving deep into the new Xbox Fall update. There are a few headlines and new releases that we need to quickly address, so let's start with those. As Halloween quickly approaches, there are a couple of themed events that kicked off this week. First is the return of the Overwatch Halloween Terror event, which is available now through November 1st. Last year's Junkenstein's Revenge was one of my favorite Overwatch-themed events to date, and I'm excited to see new skins in action like the Dracula design for Reaper. Next is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Willard Wyler's Halloween Scream, taking place now through November 1st. This one features the return of gesture warfare, monstrous boss battles, double XP, and more. This week, Assassin's Creed Origins released details on the Season Pass, which features 2 new adventures and a lot of perks, along with plans for free add-on content coming for the game. Visit Xbox Wire for all the details. Anything with the word free in it must be mentioned on this show. I have it in my contract. Ghost Recon Wildlands is offering a free play weekend now through October 15th. This will be a full unlock of the game, including the fun new PvP mode, so make sure to download it for free through the store. Plus, the game is 50% off during the promotion. Now for a quick look at what is out now. Middle-earth has returned in glorious and gorgeous fashion. Middle-earth Shadow of War really capitalizes on the strengths of the Nemesis system and provides a deeper and more personal experience. The orcs are plentiful and full of personality. Oh, and there are a lot of them. Putting your orc army together is pretty fun, but sending your cohort off to die in battle is a tougher decision than you might expect. Lastly, while the game certainly has that Lord of the Rings vibe and falls within J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy world, it's important to note that the story is completely new to Middle-earth. Personally, I love that, and it makes for an exciting new addition to the lore Tolkien created. Evil Within 2 is here, and this survival horror sequel is all things frightening, disturbing, and challenging. The story revolves around redemption, and you must take back your life and the life of your daughter. The enemies are solid, but I really enjoy the ability to choose your survival style. Run, hide, or blast in loud and proud. It's entirely up to you. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy The Telltale Series Episode 4 is out now. All I'm going to tell you is that this episode, titled Who Needs You, is all about conflict, and more conflict. All the characters are fighting someone or something at this point in the series. Make sure to grab the complete collection to get access to the entire 5-episode season. The 4th and latest add-on for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, called Retribution, along with the new Zombies experience, The Beast from Beyond, are now available. There are 4 new multiplayer maps, and this Zombies experience drops our heroes on a spaceship where they face off against cryptids. What's a cryptid? Yeah, now we know. New backward compatibility titles are available. Now you can enjoy Child of Eden, Goat Simulator, and the King of Fighters Sky Stage, all on your Xbox One. This week's Did You Know is brought to you by the Xbox Fall update. Not really, but essentially this is one big Did You Know. The new update is coming next week, and I sat down with a couple of members from the Xbox team to get the full breakdown. Check it out. I'm here with Harrison Hoffman from the Xbox team. Harrison, a lot of stuff going on here, but I wanted to talk to you about what was the team thinking for this update?
Larry, I'm really glad to be with you here today to talk about the update. When we started planning this update, we really were looking at and listening to fan feedback, and that's really where we structured this around. And based on what we heard, we wanted to make this the fastest and most personalized Xbox experience we've ever made, and I think we've done that.
All right, we've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in.
All right, let's do it.
Harrison, one of the new features is blocks. What are they? How do we use them?
So blocks are really one of the new ways that we're letting people personalize their Xbox experience. So let's say that there's a game that you love playing right now. For me right now, it's Forza 7. It just came out. I'm playing a ton of it. So I can just add a Forza 7 block right to my home in order to get updates about the game, see which of my friends are playing it, and see interesting content from around the Xbox Live community about that game as well. And I can do that for more than games. I can also do that for people. So I have friends that I play with every night on Xbox Live, and I've got those friends added right there to my home. So now I can just go to their blocks to see what they're doing, see how I'm doing versus them on the Gamerscore leaderboard, and see some of the recent things that they posted.
One of the great things I noticed is once I get my blocks set up there, I can move them up and down really quite easily.
Yeah, that whole space is totally customizable. When you go down to one of the blocks, you can hit Y right there on the block to move it around in the order, or even just remove it entirely if you end up moving on to a new game or something else.
Harrison, I can add games and friends. Is there more I can do here?
Yeah, so you can actually add blocks as well for things like Games with Gold to see what games are new this month. You can add a block for Game Pass to see what's featured there. We've actually also added one to help you get ready for Xbox One X, see all the things you need to do to be prepared on day one.
And I hear there's a news and events one. I think that one's going to be my favorite.
Yeah, that's right. The news and events block is actually going to be featuring this week on Xbox, so folks can go there to see the new episode every week.
Harrison, I'm looking at the top of the home screen here, and I notice there's some changes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done some things in the top of home that are kind of simpler and pretty straightforward, and some things that are a little bit fancier. So, for example, we know that the most common thing that people do when they turn their Xbox is just to jump right back into that last thing that you're doing. So in that place of prominence in the top of home, we just have the last game wrap that you're using so you can dive back in quickly. Down from there, we have some of your most recently used games and apps as well, so you can jump into those quickly. And we also have access to your full My Games and Apps library. And when you dive into My Games and Apps, you'll actually notice that it's a lot faster to get into your games library than it was before. No more splash screens, no more waiting around for this thing to load. You just click it and you're instantly there. Now, also on the top of home, we're starting to show interesting things that you can go and check out from around Xbox Live. So, if you have multiple friends playing one of your favorite games, we might show it to you here. If you're getting close on a particular achievement that you can just go and grab quickly, then we'll just put it here as well. These things are just kind of sprinkled around the top of home like objective markers in an open world game, sort of.
Harrison, I'm noticing a theme here, and that's the personalization. So I'm seeing a lot of these things are personalized for me and how I play. What if I see something I don't like or something I want to see more of?
Absolutely. So these different items are personalized to you, the way you play, the games you play, the people you play with. So it's already going to be automatically personalized to you, but if you want to give us some feedback about it, then if you just hit the menu button on one of these icons here, then you can tell us that you want more of this or less of it, and we'll take that into account in the future.
Now, Harrison, I have my Xbox One on in my office all the time at home, and when I step away, I kind of glance over and it's got a new thing going on here. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now when you stop using your Xbox for a little bit, it'll actually start to show you some things that you can just jump back in and start doing. So we'll start to show you things like, when your favorite friends come online, or if you get an invite to a game or a party, or maybe you actually stepped away from your Xbox because you started installing a game, and we'll show that to you right here so you can jump back in. And that's actually not all that this screen is doing. It's also making these tiny little, almost imperceptible movements throughout the screen to exercise the pixels on your TV so that we're avoiding things like image retention and burn-in and things like that.
So this is great if you're planning on upgrading to a 4K or OLED television. This is actually going to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harrison, another new change is the guide. I'm really excited about that because I can get to things now faster than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I was saying earlier, speed across the system was one of the big goals of this update. And as we looked at the guide, we realized that this is really one of the places that could benefit the most from speed improvements. And really with the guide, the point of it is for it to be able to come up over the top of a game, for you to do what you need to do, and for it to disappear as quickly as possible. So when you look at the new guide, one of the first things that you'll notice is how now our tabs are laid out horizontally across the top of the guide as opposed to vertically down the side. And the reason we did that's actually pretty simple. It's just a lot faster to go between the tabs when they're organized this way. Now I can just move through these tabs using left and right on the thumbstick or D-pad, or even just hammer through them as fast as I can press the left and right bumper buttons.
One other area that I'm really excited about is as I was going through the guide, I noticed there's these new sub-menus. So while I'm still in the game, I'm getting more detail than ever before. Tell me about those.
With this update, we're actually introducing a new concept called flyouts into the guide. And basically what flyouts let you do is get more information about a particular topic without having to leave the context of the guide and go to some other app to find out more. So for example, if I go over here to the People tab, and I can see all the information here related to people. And if I want to drill in a little bit more to either friends or friends in games, which is one of the new features we've added in this release, I can click on it and a new flyout appears. Now I can see more information about my friends here, and if I want to get even more detail on a particular friend, I can click again to have another flyout come out about that particular friend.
Again, I can do all of this while still in my game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really the point. We want you to be able to access this functionality very quickly and just get back into the game you're playing.
Harrison, I noticed on the guide over here under settings, there's a new entry called Xbox Assist. What can I get help with there?
Yep, so Xbox Assist is a new app that we're adding in this release, and basically it provides personalized tips and tricks, troubleshooters, help topics, and even help with your next achievement.
Harrison, I noticed we're using an Xbox One X right here, but we're going to see these updates across the entire Xbox One family, correct?
Absolutely. When this update comes out, it'll be on Xbox One, Xbox One S, as well as Xbox One X when it launches.
Thanks, Harrison. Great stuff. But that is not all. There are even more features in this Xbox update. I'm sitting here with Ronica Kejriwal from the Xbox engineering team. Ronica, nice to see you.
Hi, Larry. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I want to talk about the guide. We saw some changes earlier, and one of the areas that you work on is broadcasting and capture. Tell us about what's new in that area.
Now, if you access the guide, that will take you to the newly minted Broadcast and Capture tab. And if you actually start a broadcast, this is your one-stop shop for starting and managing a broadcast. You can see your channel name, your level, your Sparks, which is kind of our virtual currency that lets you interact with other streamers. And from here, you can do everything that you need to do. In addition, a nice new update for all of our streamers is that we've automatically upgraded the streams to 1080p. You don't have to do anything as long as your bandwidth permits it. And this is not only a change for the new Xbox One X, but it will take part on all of the consoles. So on your Xbox One, your Xbox One S, and your Xbox One X, you get 1080p.
So regardless if you're doing screen captures or you're just capturing video or even broadcasting on Mixer, this is your one place to go.
Yes, exactly. So you can manage everything from here. You can see your captures, you can start broadcast, and you can capture all of your new content.
Ronnie, this all sounds great. I know a lot of people are really excited about the new capture and broadcast functionality, but there's one feature that people have been asking for, and that is using their own webcams.
Yes, this update actually addresses that.
Okay.
So with this latest update, you can now plug in any off-the-shelf webcam.
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's really important for broadcasters to not only show their gameplay, but they also show themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And previously, you could always use the Kinect, but this is now just going to give them even more flexibility. And so you can just plug it into a USB port and you're good to go. And one important thing to note is that for the best audio quality, you'll still want to use your headset mic with it.
Now, in addition to broadcasting, can I use the webcam for anything else?
Yes, you can use it for one-on-one calls and group conversations in Skype.
Ronnie, this is the broadcast and capture section of the guide. We talked a little bit about broadcast. What's new for capture on Xbox One?
So just like Mixer broadcasting, you can now actually capture up to 1080p on your Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X. And with the additional power of the Xbox One X and the ability to play these beautiful 4K HDR games, we also wanted you to be able to capture that content up to 4K HDR. So now your game clips and screenshots can be captured up to 4K HDR.
Ronnie, these 4K files are pretty large. How do we manage that on the system?
We thought about that too. So with this update, you can now take any USB 3.0 storage device, plug that into your Xbox, and start capturing directly to it. You can go into settings and choose to set your capture location as this drive. And from there, all of your content will be recorded directly onto that. And so what's great about this is now you can just unplug it from your console, plug it into your computer, and then edit with all of your favorite applications, and then share it out with everyone.
That's really great because then with all these captures and screenshots I'm taking, I just pull it out, put it on into my Windows 10 PC, and I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
I noticed there's a new way to manage captures. Can you show that to me?
Yep, exactly. If you actually go back to the broadcast and capture tab in the guide, you'll notice that there's a new option called recent captures. And what this does is, while you're in a game and you're capturing a bunch of content, let's say you're in like the final level, this will store all of those recent captures for you, and you can easily access them when you have a break or when you're done playing. And if you click on an actual item, it brings up all of these easy options for you. You can share it out, you can upload it to OneDrive, you can set a screenshot as your background, you could delete it if you didn't like it. It's just really easy.
And I noticed we can do this all within game. I see a nice big thumbnail and all these different actions, so I can do everything right here.
Yeah, exactly. Like in game, if you act on the toast, it pulls it up for you right away, and so you can quickly get that feedback on whether you captured what you wanted or not.
Ronnie, I've got my captures and my screenshots. I noticed we have a new community tab here. Tell me about that.
Yep. So any anytime you share your great content to Xbox Live, it gets shared out to the community tab. And so that's where you can show off your content and see what everyone else is doing. And what you'll notice as part of this fall upgrade is that we also redesigned this section. You'll see now that it's kind of this new mosaic view, which really lets you see even more content than before. And not just that, we wanted you to have a really immersive experience. So now you can actually click on an item and be taken into this beautiful full screen view, which just gives you really easy access to commenting, liking, or sharing.
We are just a few weeks away from Xbox One X launching. What are some of the things that the team has done to make transitioning from current Xbox One owners to Xbox One X? What have they done to make that easy?
So as you know, you can already take an external drive and back up your games on it, right? You can just take that drive, plug it in from one console to another. But in addition to that, you can now actually also back up your console settings onto it. So on your console, just select the option to back it up. And then as soon as you get your new Xbox One X, just plug that drive in, and it will automatically apply those settings for you in the setup process. It's super easy and simple.
And my games will be ready to go as well.
Exactly.
Now, suppose I don't have an external drive. I don't have to download all my games again, do I?
No, not at all. With this update, you also now have the ability to actually transfer games over your local network. As long as you have two consoles on the same network, you can choose to bulk transfer all of your games over. You could do one game, several games, or all of them, space permitting.
With Xbox One X coming, we have these Xbox One X enhanced games. What has the team done to allow people to prepare for that?
Good question, Larry. So one of the incredible things that the team has done is that they've given you the ability to actually download those assets ahead of time. On any of your current consoles, an Xbox One or an Xbox One S, you now have the ability to specify that you want to download the enhanced version, and so that when you get your new Xbox One X, you have all those assets. This will save you time and will get you directly into the game.
Thanks, Ronnie. It was really great to hear from you and Harrison on behalf of the team about all these great new features coming for Xbox One owners and how we're getting ready for Xbox One X. For more information, go to news.xbox.com or check out my blog at majornelson.com. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week for an all-new episode. Thanks for watching.